Yo, what's good? It's Monday. I just finished up trading, and as you guys know, today was a No News Monday, and it was during CPI week. So this is kind of what we got for price action today. I took no trades whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, just look at the chart. It did move a little bit, and I took all the drawings off, but we did take out London high. I originally wanted to see London low get swept, and we kind of edged the lows there, and then we started ripping. But it wasn't even really a rip. It was kind of just like chop work all the way up to it, and just big wicks and things I didn't really like to see. So I didn't take any trades today, and that's okay. I know there's going to be way more opportunity in the market, and that's what a lot of people need to realize is that there's going to be more opportunity, especially on the most improbable day of the week, which is a No News Monday. On top of that, when there's CPI and PPI coming out this week, the Monday makes it 10 times worse and more or less probability. So I'm not mad at all for not taking a trade. I ended the week off on a nice win. I need 3 more days to get a payout, and I'm waiting. I'm not waiting, but I'm looking forward to getting this payout in the next 2 weeks. So that's fire. Alpha Futures Code kind of doing pretty well. I've only had it for like a month, and I've made you can't really see it, but $800 from it, which is pretty good. I'm just trying to figure out how to, I don't know, just push more leads towards it, whatever. But that's not my main source of income. That's kind of just side income, so that's good. Also, next thing I want to talk about too is my Alpha Futures accounts. So I have a 0 account on Alpha Futures that they gave me when they gave me my discount code. They gave me a 0 account, and I have it passed, and I have like 1 winning day on it. But I can only make $1,500 per payout on it. So it's not really like a lot for me because, I mean, it's still good, but like I feel like I wouldn't want to waste 5 trading days just to get a $1,500 payout when if I use a standard account, I could do the same thing and get closer to a $15,000 payout. You know what I mean? So because I'm only going for $300 winning days because there's no point of going for any more. So I'm thinking of just buying a standard account, trading it for this week, hopefully going to be able to get the payout for that by the end of September. Like that's kind of going to be my goal for it. Just to start getting payouts on that, because that's how I really need to start making more money from trading. Because yeah, I'm starting to get consistent with the 10K plus payouts on Top Step and just farming payouts off of them. However, in order to really make more and more money, I need to be using more firms, more allocation. And if I could have max allocation on Top Step like I do 5 fundeds, and then I can get max allocation on Alpha, which is 3, and get max payouts on each of them, that could easily clear me like 75K in a month, which obviously that's 25K payout on Top Step plus 15K on Alpha on 3 accounts. So it's obviously a lot, but you get what I mean, right? You can make a lot of money if you just get more firms and more accounts, and it's the same thing. I'm just copy trading, right? So that's kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to do. But very productive so far. I like to just have all my thoughts ready, because especially in trading where it's such a mentally taxing, thing, you have to just make sure you are in the right mind space. You have like a plan. I'm that type of person where I really like to just have a plan of things I like to do and things like that. So yeah, make some content. I've already made some TikToks today. It's around 1:30 in the afternoon right now. I'm going to go on a run, clear my mental, just take time off the charts. When the charts are terrible like this, you got to have something else that you like to do. And I enjoy exercising, hanging out with friends, things like that. And I'm probably going to play some video games with my friends when I get back to the house after I go on this run I'm going to do. And yeah, it's all just about staying productive, making sure. So I had an Instagram account that was given to me by people I was working with that had like 20K followers, but I really didn't like it. It was very unauthentic. I was losing a bunch of followers because they were like either bots or just like, I don't know, dead followers. And it just looked not legit. And as you guys know, I have like 4,300 followers on TikTok as of right now. And I'm just trying to keep growing. And I think to grow my code and grow my Discord like I want to, I need to have Instagram. So I am in the process of making a new Instagram account for myself that I'm just going to grow from 0. So I'll put it in here to go follow it. But yeah, hopefully. So we have, it's the second week of this month. Going into the second week of this month, I could possibly, I mean, it's not looking likely just because it's CPI week, but Definitely, I truly think definitely by what day is it? I truly think by the 22nd of August that I could get my payout of August, and ideally that would be around $15,000. That's what I'm going for, $15,000 payout. And I'm hoping I could do that. And yeah, so it's all just about staying disciplined. It's just, making sure I'm waiting for my model, things like that. But yeah, so I'm going to make some more content, be a little bit more productive, work on my Instagram, just some general things I need to do. Yeah, locked in, loaded, ready to go. And yeah. Yo, it's the evening of Tuesday. As y'all know, CPI came out. It came out very bullish. You can see here, I did not take any trades, so this was CPI. We also had all-time highs a little bit higher, which I think we're in it right now. We're in all-time highs now, yeah. But we had all-time highs, and this high up here that I was kind of looking for to be taken out. During market open, we retraced into a discount, which was right here, and then we started getting legs up. And I was kind of thinking of longing, but in the back of my mind, I just know CPI is a very it's a very improbable day to trade. It's not a very good day to trade because, a lot of news is coming out where it's very manipulative in the market. So I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to not trade and just see if there's any better setup. And I ended up just getting off the chart once this big candle happened. And then we ended up trading into data low, and then we edged out London low, and then we just ripped all to all-time highs. So no trades for me. But I'm hoping the rest of this week, we have 3 days the rest of this week. These last 3 days should be good. As y'all still know, I have 3 winning days I need. I'm not going to get the 3 winning days probably this week. So my goal is for aiming for this payout next week. And also new stuff we have. I have 2 Alpha Futures accounts, evals, that I'm trying to work on now. 2 50K standard accounts, because the zero accounts, you can only make $1,500 per payout, so I didn't really think like it was too worth it to just grind an account just to get $1,500. So I'm gonna grind 2 standard accounts, try to get 2 payouts on each of those, and hopefully bring my monthly profit income to around $30,000 a month. That's my main goal with that. If I get a Top Step payout and if I get a Alpha payout, that'll be good, along with my Alpha Futures code, which I'm about to make around $1,000 per month on that. That's kind of what I'm at right now. I'm at like $860 right now. So that's doing well too. Content's doing well. I'm doing really well right now. I'm really glad. I'm just foot all the way on the gas. That's the best thing you guys could do when you are in a good position and you're doing things good. Just keep your foot on the gas and just grinding. So without further ado, I'll probably just see y'all boys tomorrow. So yeah. Yo, what's up? Just finished trading and I took a shower. And I just finished up. So I don't know if you guys remember, if you watched the other episodes, I have been working with these people who've been helping me with content ideas, just telling me like good times to post, things like that. You're just helping with like just a lot of general content things. And in turn, I was kind of helping them trade and things like that. So we just finished up a call where we came to terms and we are no longer kind of working together, I guess, in a sense. So we've come to good terms with that. We've had very good closure, and they're very good people. And no bad blood between anyone, but it just kind of didn't really work out 100%. And I know I talked about it previously in some of the episodes, maybe episode 1 and 2, things like that. So we got closure with, kind of the whole situation. And so they won't be helping as much with content, and I will not be helping them as much with trading because they will be doing their own trading, which is really cool for them. And I'm happy for that. So that's kind of just like the base thing. So I was kind of busy with that, which it's kind of slowed my progress down, and it kind of affected me trading today. I was just kind of like I was very eager to just do that call with them and have that, and I was kind of just not really present on the charts, and I took no trades today. I did very much miss out on a big short. So as y'all know, right here, we were at all-time highs. We could have broke down at any moment. We had this relative equal lows over here, all these lows right here, and then we had London and Asia low down here, which were my targets. I stated it in the Discord, in my daily bias channel on my Discord. I said we were at all-time highs. We have lots of sell-side liquidity, like London low, Asia low, which was right here. And I said we're at all-time highs, so not 100% open to shorting, and that's a fact, because when you're at all-time highs, it's a good spot to be in the market, and you don't want to just assume we're going to go short because you still could go higher. However, when you want to see bullish in all-time highs, you don't know how high it could possibly go. It could go anywhere. So I was just kind of waiting for a retracement, and we ended up having a very big retracement. So I literally was kind of saying my bias was kind of equilibrium and London low. So that kind of played out there. And once we got this giant candle down, I was kind of just like, you know what, we're going to trade lower. You know, we're going to take out these lows at least, and maybe take out London Asia low. And I kind of missed the entry right here. So short right at this fair value gap, 25-point stop, which would have been like around right here at the top of this fair value gap up here. And then take profits would have been here, London low, Asia low, for a nice like 108-point move, which would have been a banger trade. I missed that out because I didn't like how we only barely trade up into the fair value gap. I wanted a deeper retracement into like mid gap up here, and I didn't get it, and that kind of just ran without me. And once it traded into this fair value gap, I thought, you know, from here to here was kind of my main target, and I would have took my majority of the position off right here. So really not the most ideal setup from there, and then I just let it run because I was more worried about that call for me. So it's done. I'm gonna just keep putting my head down, locked in on trading, locked in on my Discord, locked in on content, just my own, how I'm doing it on my own. They gave me some good pointers, so very grateful for that. So yeah, locked in with that. I took my affiliate payout today. I'm gonna start taking it once per month, and I got it around a month ago. Like maybe I think I got it on the 16th of July. It's now the 13th of August. So I took out around $1,000. I think it was like just under, like maybe like 980. So $1,000 added up here. So 21K now. Very nice. Of my affiliate code Ducci on Alpha Futures. So if you want a discount, you can use that code Ducci. Very good accounts they have. I have 2 Alpha accounts, which I'm working on right now. That's my goal, to be able to get 5 top set payouts, 2 to 3 Alpha payouts, completely just scale up and make as much as I possibly can. So like I said, always my goal for the top step accounts right now to get a $12,000 to $15,000 payout across all 5 in total. And then on the Alpha to get anywhere from, on 2 of them, I guess, anywhere from, you know, 5 to 10, maybe even 15 on them, because you can request more. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for that. But just gonna, you know, I'm staying locked in, making sure I'm locked in for it. And then also the Alpha. So 21K up there, beautiful, beautiful. At a great spot with everything. And biggest thing I could say is, like, bro, I said this yesterday too. When you're at a good spot in your trading and business, my foot is on the floor with the pedal. I'm just trying to grind as hard as I can, as much as I can, especially since I'm going back to college soon, right? I didn't drop out. I know a lot of people, some people in the trading space have dropped out to pursue trading. I am making, you know, 10K a month kind of more consistently now, but it's not enough where I feel like I should be dropping out, and I think I can make it work while in school, so why not? And I can still have that college experience, that fun, right, while being locked down on trading, and that's always going to be my priority. Yeah, just going to stay locked in, and I'll probably catch y'all on Thursday, and we'll see where we go. Yo, just finished up trading. It's Thursday. Had a break-even trade today on my Alpha accounts, and Top Step did not take any trades, so here was the trade. So PPI came out today, and that's what caused this really big dump. And then on the higher time frame, that big dump was just trading into a fair value gap. So I was kind of either, obviously we're pretty much very bullish. You know, we're at all-time highs pretty much up here, and I was just waiting to see if we were going to respect this gap or if we were going to disrespect it and then trade lower. And we ended up respecting it, and then we started getting legs out higher. We also had these gaps on 1 hour and 15-minute and etc. So we started getting legs up right off the open, and I wanted to see data high get taken out, and even maybe all-time highs to be taken out. But I was waiting for at least data high, right? That was my target. You know, market opens, we kind of just start ripping, and we had this fair value gap right here that I was going to long off of, but we never traded into it, and then we started displacing away from it. I saw that we rejected away from this order block, and then we had another candle right after that trade into the wick and then respect it. And so I went long right there, had my stop below the order block low right there, and take profit at data highs. We edged it by a couple points and then just dumped straight to break even. So break even trade on Alpha. the thing is, I trade more aggressive and I take more trades on alpha just because I have the 5 top step. I have that, safe place on my, funded accounts where am able to risk on alpha. However, we're 2 weeks into this month and I've taken, I think, 1 or 2 winning trades since I got my last payout in July. So I'm starting to think like I have enough balance in my accounts to the point where I honestly could just start risking and take trades. So I think that's kind of what I'm going to start doing, as like if I see a setup, I'm just going to take it and put $500 risk and let it fly, because I also have to keep in the back of my mind, like, yeah, I'm being very patient, and previous me, like 3-4 months ago, would be blowing accounts because I wouldn't stay patient, or I would take a break-even trade and then try to go back in to try to get my money, or I would take a losing trade and then try to revenge trade to get my money back, and it would just obviously be a terrible spiral. So I think the fact that, I'm limiting myself to that 1 trade per day, and I'm being really patient, really making sure I'm only trying to take these most high probable setups possible. It is taking a while, but I'm still profitable at the end of the day, and that's what I, have to give myself credit for. However, I am able, and you are not going to make money unless you put risk in, and I'm able to risk because I've built enough balance. I've built that buffer. So why not just let a trade fly, right? I've been right about my bias of the day multiple times. It's like pretty much this entire week I've had the daily bias correct. I just can't find that entry towards it. So I think what my plan is going into Friday, because I would really like to just have a very big trade on Friday or my next trade, and then just get 2 more easy winning days to secure the payout. So what I'm thinking, so right now I have 3,000 balance. I have 3,000 balance on my top step accounts. That's $3,000 before I blow the account. I normally risk $500 per trade. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is on Friday, if I take a trade, I'm gonna risk $1,000. Okay, if I win that trade, I will probably make anywhere from like 2,000 to 3,000 on that trade. My account balance will be at like 6K. And what I'm going to do is I'll have 2 more winning days I need. I'm just going to go for the 2 winning days of like 150, and then just secure my payout of probably around 15,000, which that's my goal. However, if I do lose the trade, then I'm going to have to claw my way back. But like I said, I've been right about the bias every single day, and every time, like the whole week leading up to this week, I just haven't traded because I haven't seen my exact perfect setup, which is a great thing, right? I'm staying very disciplined in my model. But if I just let a trade fly and I have the bias correct, I would win the trade. So, and this was a kind of a very low probable trade too. Like, we were very close to the liquidity. It wasn't really off anything. And it's like, that's why it kind of failed and it was a break even. So that being said, that's what my idea is going into Friday. As y'all know, got the $1,000 from the Alpha Futures payout. So now I'm gonna just request whatever's in there in the balance every month. So I made $1,000 from that in 1 month of having it, which is really nice. I also just made an Instagram too, so go follow it. It's Ducci.trades. I'll put it on the screen right here. But yeah, I'm at a very good place, and I really am in the good spot, especially when I'm having, like, I didn't trade this entire week, and then today I had a break-even day, and it almost feels like a loss. But I know a couple months ago, if this is the exact same scenario I put myself in, I'd be beating myself up over it. I'd be like, bro, what am I doing wrong? But now I'm very content. I'm very happy with the way I've been trading, and that just makes me feel like I've come a long way already, as on my trading journey. And yeah, so my idea going into Friday, risk $1,000, make a lot of money, and then just get 2 free winning days the next week, and hopefully get my payout by the end of next week. So yeah, I'm just gonna make some content. I have a lot of videos, ideas I want to make, and yeah. So I'll see y'all boys Friday. Hopefully we'll get that dub. Yo, what's up? Just finished trading. It's Friday, end of the week. Took no trades, as probably some of you can very well expect. And I know I said I would come into Friday and Thursday, Friday, trying to take trades, and I really just couldn't bring myself to it, because it's first off, I was bullish to these highs, right? Market opens, we pretty much just dump and then start chopping around. We end up, I was waiting for us to inverse this gap before looking for any longs, because obviously that's what you want to do. We end up just selling off, trading into a 4-hour wick, and then inversing this 4-hour gap, and then once that kind of happened, I was like, there's no way we even come back up here. There wasn't really any more bearish draws, and we ended up just getting some sort of reversal. And I already locked out around this time. There was also news that came out at 10 that was like not the greatest. So no trades on Top Steps. 3 days away from taking a payout again. Going into next week, I'm going to say this now because, you know, this week I had one break-even trade and didn't trade it all the rest of the week. So I literally made $0 this entire week. It was a very slow week, and I heard someone else talk about this, but it's very true. When I feel like this, it's very frustrating because all around me, I see people, you know, in profits. You know, they're taking a lot of trades, they're making a lot of money, they're getting payouts, and I'm just sitting here, you know, not taking trades 4 days out of the week, and then the one trade I do take is a break even, and it's a brutal break even because it was very close to hitting my take profit yesterday, obviously. So it's very frustrating because, you know, it's just days and days passing by where I'm not making any money, and it's making me kind of feel like, well, what am I doing? Like, I need to be doing something if I'm not making money trading. But it's like, I have to understand, you have to trust the process in trading. You know, I'm not making money, but I'm saving myself from losing money. I could have very well lost money today. I could have very well lost 4 days out of this week, right? I could have very well lost that trade. I was a break even, and I'm staying disciplined in my model, my system, and I'm, you know, it's a profitable system. It's been profitable last month. It's going to be profitable this month. It's just taking a little bit longer just because market conditions aren't as good, especially this week where it was CPI. So going into next week, it should be way better conditions, I think, I hope. I'm definitely going to try to be more, not risk on, but I'm going to try to take some trades. You know, I'm going to be a little bit less robotic in terms of, oh, if this exact thing doesn't happen, like if it happens, it happens, right? If it's obviously terrible price action, I'm not going to trade it. However, if it's moving, if it's going towards draws and liquidity, I'm going to just try to take some trades towards it because I really want to, you know, get consistent to the point where I'm getting payouts on every month, even earlier, 2 weeks even. So I'm definitely just going to try to stay disciplined still. But going into next week, I'm going to try to take some trades. I'm going to try to be more risk on. Alpha futures accounts, I did take a win today, but I don't count eval wins, to be honest, so I didn't even feel like the need to talk about it. But I did take a win on my alpha futures accounts. I don't even have it open anymore. It doesn't really matter. Took a win on the alpha futures, so I'm 1 day away, or like I think like 2 days, because I didn't make 1,500. I made like 13. So I'm very close to passing those. So my goal is to pass those next week and get them ready for the qualified accounts for September, a payout September. But August, my main goal, just getting 3 wins for my Top Step accounts, getting a payout on them, and then, you know, going into September with a good mind, good balance in each of them. And yeah, honestly, probably one of the most boring videos y'all have seen, just because I didn't do anything. It's kind of just, this was a very big test of my psychology this week, right? In terms of not over leveraging, not forcing a trade, and I did very well with it. So I have to keep that and give myself some credit, right? Yeah, I didn't take trades, I didn't make money, but I could have very well lost, and I was very disciplined in terms of I followed my model. I made sure I waited for my setup, and my setup didn't present, and it's okay. It's going to happen, you know? So, like I said, going into next week, going to be a little bit more risk on in terms of I'm going to try to just take more trades than I normally do. I'm going to try to take more frequent trades, and, you know, try to get those 3 winning days in that week. So whether it is the 150, right, I'm just going to try to get a win. I'm going to try to, you know, I also want to get a good payout too. So I'm not just going to get 150 wins and then just call it, because then my payout would pretty much blow my account after. So going to just, you know, play it by ear. Obviously my plan is to get the payout. However, if I'm not going to force anything, right? If the market is really giving me terrible conditions, not going to take a trade. However, if it is displacing towards liquidity, I'm going to take the trade just so I can, you know, get some money. But stay disciplined. That's probably going to end the video here. There's not really much to do. Just going to grind some more content, you know, film content, make some psychology videos, etc. And yeah, I'll see y'all boys probably Monday.